So what is going on, guys? I am BlackOpsAmazing. Welcome yourselves back to another zombies video on the channel where we have episode 1 of our zombies Q&A, where I'm going to be answering your guys' comments on the zombie storyline. Anything that you want to know, I'm going to try and answer in these videos. So if there's any questions you have, anything that you're wondering about, leave them in the comments and you could be featured in the next video. As always, if you enjoy, a like rating is very much appreciated. Make sure you are subscribed for more zombies videos on the channel, and without further ado, when you're ready, let's go. So the first question comes from April Mayers, and this person says, in Shadows of Evil, who is the person in the middle of the rituals? So let's go back to Shadows of Evil. We know in that map we have to do 4 rituals. 4 rituals for our 4 characters: Nero, Jack, Floyd, and Jessica. We do these rituals to get the gate worms, and then using the gate worms we get, along with the summoning key, we can access the Pack-a-Punch room. But who exactly are the people we have to sacrifice in order to get the gate worms? Now, before Shadows of Evil takes place, which is on April the 25th of 1944, the Shadow Man begins to manipulate our characters, and he does this by posing as people that they know, where he starts off by pretending to be a company executive. The Shadow Man tells Nero's lawyer that Nero's wife has taken out a substantial loan in his name, and that Nero only has 15 days to settle this before the company seeks reparation. And so, facing multiple debts due to his wife's spending habits, Nero decided to kill his wife and get life insurance to pay off the debt. Now, of course, none of that was true. Nero's wife never took out any substantial loans. Nero was never in debt. It was the Shadow Man pretending to be a company executive who told Nero's lawyer that that was the case. And so, only having 15 days to sort this out, Nero thought that the best thing to do was to kill his wife, and that's what he did. And it's the same with the other 3 characters. With Jack Vincent, the Shadow Man pretended to be an internal affairs officer, where he tried to convince Jack's partner to admit that Jack plots to kill the snitch who could provide evidence against him. And so because of this, Jack killed the snitch. Again, none of that would have happened if it wasn't for the Shadow Man pretending to be people. The Shadow Man also posed as a film director interested in hiring Jessica for a leading role, where he told the producer that the part is hers. But she learns that a photographer has pictures of her that could compromise her job, and so she kills him. And then for Floyd, the Shadow Man posed as a journalist. The Shadow Man, being a journalist, suggested that Floyd is a journeyman fighter, which is an insult, and he said this to Floyd's promoter. And so, wanting to guarantee his shot at the title, Floyd decides to wear brass knuckles under his gloves and fights with Tony King, whereas we know Tony King was killed in the boxing match. But actually, the day before Jessica, Floyd, Jack, and Nero killed these people, just a few hours before, they had a call from someone who could have convinced them to not kill these people. But because all 4 of our characters missed those very important calls, not knowing what they had to say, they all ended up killing those people. These calls that Jack, Jessica, Floyd, and Nero missed an hour or 2 before they killed these people, if they were to pick up the phone, those deaths would have never happened. Nero missed a call from his lawyer where he was going to tell him that the documents that he received were actually forged and that there was nothing to worry about, which meant that Nero would have found out that his wife was never in debt because those documents were faked, because that's what the Shadow Man made up. And so Nero would have never killed his wife if only he would have picked up the phone an hour before, but unfortunately he missed it. It's the same with Jack. Jack missed a call from his partner in which he was going to tell him that he has his back with internal affairs and he has nothing to worry about, and so meaning that Jack wouldn't have needed to kill the snitch. Again, Floyd missed a call from his promoter in which he was going to tell him that the fight was a success and that he had a shot at the title. And just before Jessica killed the photographer, she missed a call from her producer where he was going to tell her that he didn't have a good feeling about the director, which was the Shadow Man, and that it didn't work out. However, he has scored a lead in a musical that he and his partner are financing, which would have meant that Jessica didn't need to kill the photographer because the photographer wouldn't have compromised her job. The Shadow Man pretending to be these people caused Jack, Jessica, Nero, and Floyd to kill. And we can also bet that the Shadow Man had some part to play in these characters missing those phone calls. Whether he cut the lines or did something, somehow we can bet that the Shadow Man made the characters miss those very important phone calls, which would have meant they didn't need to kill. But as we know, because they killed those characters, they then were sent to a twisted version of Morgue City. Shifted slightly from reality, they were told by the Shadow Man that they need to listen to what he says in order to pay for their sins. And so all 4 of these characters are tricked by the Shadow Man into performing rituals, where Jessica sacrifices her producer, Jack sacrifices his partner, Floyd sacrifices his promoter, and Nero sacrifices his lawyer. And as we know, when all of these rituals are complete, the Apothecans are then given access to Dimension 63. So these people that we see on the rituals in Shadows of Evil are the people that were close to our Shadows of Evil characters. They were good friends of our crew. They sacrificed Floyd's promoter, they sacrificed Nero's lawyer, we sacrificed Jessica's promoter and Jack's partner. Some people thought the people on the ritual tables are the ones that our characters killed. So for example, Tony King. But that isn't the case. Instead of Tony King, the one that died in the boxing ring, oh, that rhymes. It is instead Floyd's promoter. So there we go. Hopefully that answers your question. The next one comes from Stephen Para, hopefully I've pronounced your name right, dude, but he says, BlackOpsAmazing, can you do a story of the magic or drops such as the max ammo, insta-kill, double points, death machine, nuke, perks? So I believe he's saying, can you do a story, can you tell me the background behind the perk drops that we get in zombies? Well, instead of doing a story of video, I will tell you right now. So in Gorod Dr. Monty this is literally the first time we hear from him, and he tells us a ton of information. And what he tells us is that actually he is the one who has been giving us these magic ammo drops, these perk machines, the insta-kill, the death machine drop, the max ammo, the little perk drops that we get when we kill the monkeys, the carpenters. All of these magic drops that we get on the floor are given to us by Dr. Monty. Considering that he is this godly figure, he is the one who can manipulate things and change things on Earth, he has also been giving us these magic drops. As well as that, he gives us the gumball machines, the magic chalk drawings on the wall, so we see the guns drawn on the wall. Dr. Monty is the one who put them there for our characters to use.
Where do you think all these magic weapon boxes come from? The chalk drawings on the wall, the magic ammo drops, the gumball machines? Do I need to go on, or do you get the message? I just hope you appreciate it.
Our next question is from C.Glaspergaming78, and this person says, what would happen to Leroy if you did Richtofen's side of the Easter egg? So in Buried, as we know, there are 2 different Easter eggs that you can do. There is the Maxis side and the Richtofen side. Now, yesterday I did a full story of video on Arthur, or Leroy, if that's what you still want to call him. If you want to check it out, I will link it down in the description. But for Buried, the map that Arthur's in, there are 2 different endings, like I said, Richtofen and Maxis. Now, actually, the Maxis ending is canon to the story. That is the one that actually happens in our story. Yes, you can decide to do the Richtofen side if you want, but even if you do that, say if we were to carry on after Buried, it is the Maxis side of the Easter egg that would have happened in terms of the storyline. The Maxis side is canon, the Richtofen ending is not. So as we know, if you do the Maxis side of the Easter egg, he basically tells our characters that they are all doomed and that neither the Earth nor its people will survive, leaving Leroy along with the rest of the Buried crew to all die. Because Maxis' mind has been taken over by the Dark Ether, meaning he is evil, that would have meant Leroy, or Arthur, would have died. But if we go to the Richtofen side of the Easter egg, even though it isn't canon in our storyline, so basically that means nothing would have happened to Leroy, because this Easter egg, even though it exists, it technically doesn't, because it's not canon. But let's just say it was. Let's just say, what would have happened if Richtofen's ending was canon instead of Maxis's?
Finally, I am in control! The ether is mine to manipulate as I wish! The moon is now my own personal plaything! What have you done? I've won, Maxis! That's what I've done! Oh, what about Samantha? Your condemn my daughter's very soul to eternal damnation. Even if you do not care for her, surely you wish to return to your own body.
Not really, no. Won't I already possess the power to leave this netherworld and re-enter the physical realm once more? I can choose any body I wish. As for you, Maxis, you will simply cease to be. Auf Wiedersehen, Tunnel. Take a deep breath, Samuel. We're about to get a whole lot closer. At last I am... Oh, what's the word? Corporeal? No. Physical. Whatever. I have my very own body. I can touch. Yeah. I can feel. Oh, I can smell. Oh, maybe that's not such a good thing. What is that stink? Oh, Samuel. You're still here? Okay. This is a little awkward. It's really not that different how things were before, Sammy. We get to talk to each other, play games, have fun. It's really quite exciting. You'll like the fact that we're going to be eating more salad. That doesn't come in a bowl, but I do understand that. Just carry on as normal, and I'll try to leave you alone for a while.
Well, after Richtofen declares his victory and becomes the controller of the Ether's energy, he tells Dr. Maxis that you will cease to exist. And so he kills him. Dr. Maxis no longer exists. He is gone. He wipes him from existence. And now Richtofen can transfer himself from the Ether, from controlling that energy, also down to Earth. But in order to do this, he has to take someone's body, and as we know, he takes the body of Samuel. So it gets inside of his head, and he begins to take control of Samuel, meaning Richtofen can also do whatever he wants on Earth, as well as up in the Ether. And because of this, Richtofen doesn't destroy the Earth. Obviously, he needs it to do whatever he wants. And so for that reason, we can assume that Leroy, if this was canon, would go on to live. Whatever he would do, we don't know. I mean, he's still technically trapped down underneath this ground, you know, coming from the 1300s all the way to 2025. I'm pretty sure this guy's not gonna know how to really live in this century. So yes, even though technically he wouldn't be killed like he would normally with the Maxis ending, if the Richtofen ending was canon, he would still be trapped under buried, although alive, he would probably die of starvation or something. I really don't know. But that is it for today's Zombies Q&A. Hopefully I've helped you guys out a little bit. Hopefully I've answered some of your questions. Thank you very much for watching. If there's anything you want to know, leave them in the comments. Episode 2 should be coming in a couple of days. So I'll gather them up for you guys, make an awesome video. We should have some more story of videos, top 5s, stuff like that coming on the channel soon. Thanks for watching. Leave a like rating if you have enjoyed. Make sure you are subscribed for more zombies videos on the channel. And of course, we'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching and goodbye.